The dollar store banner droops in the corner of our dining room, its cheerful "Happy Birthday" letters a stark contrast to the tension hanging over the table. My 19th birthday dinner spreads before me. A grocery store rotisserie chicken, instant mashed potatoes, and the generic sheet cake Karen promised she'd bake from scratch. Grace, honey, smile. Karen beams at me from across the table, her lipstick just a shade too bright against her teeth. 19 is such a special age. Logan and Brooklyn slouch in their chairs, phones glowing in their laps. The gentle pings of their text messages punctuate the scraping of forks against plates. Dad's voice crackles through the speaker of my phone, propped against the salt shaker. "Sorry about the work emergency, Gracie. You understand, right?" His words sound tinny, distant. "These contracts won't sign themselves." "Of course, Dad." I push peas around my plate, remembering other birthdays. Mom used to spend days planning my parties, hanging real streamers, baking chocolate cake from her grandmother's recipe. The memory catches in my throat. Karen clears her dishes with practiced efficiency, her wedding ring clicking against the ceramic. "Now that we're all finished." She pauses, throat clearing like a conductor preparing her orchestra. "We need to discuss your future contributions to this household." The phrase lands with precision. My fork stills against the plate. "You're an adult now," Karen continues, voice dripping honey. "Adults pay their own way. Starting next month, your rent will be $700. Brooklyn's phone slips, clattering against the table. Even Logan looks up. "If you can't manage the payments, you'll need other arrangements by summer's end." Karen smooths her napkin, every movement calculated. "I'm sure you understand." My chest tightens. Through the dining room window, I spot the rosebush Mom planted 20 years ago. Its petals drift in the evening breeze, scattering across the lawn like memories. "Do Logan and Brooklyn pay rent?" The question slips out soft, steady. Karen's smile doesn't waver. "They're still finding their footing. You're different. You're an adult now." The word adult strikes like a hammer, shattering something inside me. Suddenly I'm 5 again, standing before Mom's casket in a black velvet dress that itched at my neck. Grandma and Grandpa Collins holding my hands, their grip anchoring me to earth. This house wrapped around me then, like a blanket, every corner holding echoes of Mom's laugh. I touched the edge of the vinyl tablecloth, Karen's replacement for Mom's hand-embroidered linen. The changes started small after she moved in, family photos vanishing from walls. Mom's quilt discovered in a garbage bag in the garage. New rules appearing like weeds. No shoes on the carpet, no sitting in the living room, no using the good dishes. My bedroom shrunk with each passing month. First the craft table disappeared, then my bookshelf. "You need to learn to live with less," Karen explained, voice gentle as a snake. I rise from the table, legs steady beneath me. The property deed rests in my bedroom safe, tucked between Mom's last birthday card and Grandma's silver locket. I've held this secret close, letting it warm me through cold family dinners and colder silences. "I won't be paying rent." My voice carries Mom's quiet strength. "This is my house." Karen laughs, the sound sharp as breaking glass. "Excuse me?" I leave the table without a word, return with the deed. The legal language stands bold against cream paper. Elizabeth Mitchell's property transferred in trust to Grace Elizabeth Mitchell upon the death of Harold and Margaret Collins. Karen snatches the document, eyes racing across words she can't change. Her fingers tremble as she dials Dad's number. Brooklyn and Logan abandon their phones, faces pale in the fading light. "Robert," Karen's voice pitches high, "you need to explain something to your daughter." Dad's sigh floods the speaker. "The house belongs to Grace. Her grandparents left it to her." Karen's face cycles through emotions like channels on a television. Shock, rage, calculation. She pushes back from the table, chair legs squealing against hardwood. "We'll discuss this when your father gets home." She stalks from the room, Brooklyn and Logan trailing like ducklings. The front door slams. Through the window, I watch their car peel away, leaving black marks on the driveway Mom and I painted last summer. I stand alone in my dining room, surrounded by dollar store decorations and cooling dishes. The house settles around me with familiar creaks and sighs. I run my hand along the wall as I climb the stairs, touching each family photo that used to hang there. In my bedroom, I open the window. Mom's roses scent the evening air. For the first time in years, I feel the walls embracing me instead of closing in. This home sheltered 3 generations of Mitchell women. Now it will shelter me, through whatever storm comes next. Sleep refuses to come that night. I stare at my bedroom ceiling, counting the glow-in-the-dark stars Mom helped me stick there 14 years ago. Their phosphorescent gleam has faded to almost nothing, but I know each constellation by heart. The kitchen faucet squeaks downstairs, Karen's distinctive 2-twist method of avoiding the drip. My throat burns for chamomile tea, but my legs won't move. Her whispers float up through the heating vent, urgent and sharp. Robert, listen to me. She has to go. This changes everything. My bare feet find the floor before my brain catches up. The old maple stairs would betray me with their 4th-step creak, so I press against the wall, ear turned toward the kitchen. I don't know, Karen. Dad's voice crackles through the phone speaker. The house is legally hers. Which is exactly why we need to handle this carefully. Karen's voice drips honey, the same tone she uses to sell overpriced vitamins to her friends. Think about it. She's 19. She should be spreading her wings, experiencing life away from home. University of Oregon has an excellent social work program. A pause fills the kitchen. The faucet drips once, twice. That's 4 hours away, Dad says. For her independence, Karen pushes. You want her to grow up strong and capable, don't you? Like Beth was. The mention of Mom's name stops my breath. A dish clinks against the sink. Maybe that's best for everyone, Dad sighs. The words punch through my chest. I retreat upstairs, feet careful on carpet that Karen picked out to replace Mom's hardwood. My bedroom door closes with a soft click that echoes like thunder. Sleep comes eventually, but morning arrives too soon. Karen's perfume lingers in the upstairs hallway, the same scent she wore to Dad's company Christmas party when she cornered his boss about life insurance policies. The memory sparks something. I wait until the house empties Karen to her vitamin sales meeting, Logan and Brooklyn, to wherever they spend their days. Dad's home office holds a filing cabinet that hasn't been organized since Mom died. The drawer scrapes open. Medical records, tax forms, Mom's old teaching contracts. Behind a folder marked Christmas Cards 2015 sits a newer document. My fingers tremble as I pull it free. Life Insurance Policy Amendment. Primary Beneficiary. Karen Mitchell. A laugh bubbles up, borderline hysterical. The sound bounces off walls that used to hold family photos. I remember the day Karen took them down, claiming she was just cleaning the frames. They never went back up. College brochures litter my bed when I return upstairs. University of Oregon, Arizona State. Places with out-of-state tuition and 1,000-mile distances. A yellow sticky note in Karen's precise handwriting. Just some options to consider. The attic calls to me. Each step up the pull-down ladder feels like climbing a mountain. Mom's hope chest waits in the corner, where it's lived since Karen declared it too shabby for the living room. Dust coats the brass latch. Inside, Mom's wedding dress nests in tissue paper beside the baby blanket she knitted while pregnant with me. A cream envelope rests on top, my name written in Grandma Collins' elegant script. My dearest Grace, this house has sheltered 3 generations of Mitchell women through their storms. Your great-grandmother raised 4 children here alone after the war took your great-grandfather. Your mother found refuge here when college dreams felt impossible on a teacher's salary. Now it will protect you. The walls remember our laughter. The garden holds our tears. Every window frames a memory of love. The deed is yours because you are the keeper of our stories. Trust your heart, sweet girl. It carries our strength. All my love. Grandma. Tears splash onto the letter. I haven't cried since the funeral, the real one, not the performance Karen arranged last year for Mom's proper headstone. The baby blanket still smells faintly of Mom's lavender lotion. I press it to my face, shoulders shaking, until Brooklyn's voice drifts up from below. Mom says we can sell all this old junk in the attic once Grace moves out. My friend's mom knows an antiques dealer. The tears stop. My spine straightens. Mom's silver locket warms against my throat. Later that day, downtown smells like coffee and car exhaust. The law office where Grandpa Collins worked sits between a flower shop and a tax service. The brass nameplate reads Anderson and Williams now, but the leather chairs in the waiting room haven't changed. Miss Mitchell, Mr. Williams stands when his secretary shows me in. I've been expecting you. He pulls a thick folder from his drawer, Grandpa's handwriting on the tab. Your grandmother asked me to hold this until you needed it. Given your father's call this morning about property rights, I'd say that time is now. My eyebrows lift. Dad called you? Asking about ways to contest the deed. He settles his reading glasses on his nose. I reminded him that Judge Collins knew exactly what he was doing when he set up your trust. The folder opens to reveal documents, property tax records, household maintenance schedules. A smaller envelope falls into my lap. Inside, a business card reads, Palmer Property Management, because home matters. A note in Grandma's writing. Ask for Sarah. She helped Beth find her way too. An hour later, Sarah Palmer's office smells like cinnamon. Her silver hair catches afternoon sun as she reviews the trust documents. Honey. She sets down her reading glasses. It's time someone told you what power really looks like. She spreads papers across her desk like battle plans. Property codes, tenant rights, market rental rates. Your mother sat in that same chair 15 years ago, Sarah says. Right after she decided to buy out your father's half of the house. She knew someday you'd need options. My throat tightens. Options? To choose what home means. Sarah's eyes hold mine, and to protect it. 3 hours later, the front door light glows when I pull into the driveway that evening. Karen's car sits in my usual spot, right where Mom's roses drop their petals. Tomorrow, I'll start documenting everything. Tonight, I open my laptop and create a spreadsheet titled Household Expenses and Labor, 2022-2025. The numbers tell a story Karen never wanted to hear. They also tell me exactly what to do next. Morning brings Karen's artificial cheer and the scent of burned coffee. She hovers by the kitchen island, designer handbag placed just so. I hope you've reconsidered our discussion about household contributions. Her smile stretches tight. The folder in my hands holds 3 years of receipts, chore logs, and property maintenance records. Each page represents a piece of myself I gave away trying to earn a place in my own home. I set it on the counter. Let it fall open to the first spreadsheet. You're right. My voice carries Mom's quiet strength. It's time we made things official. The morning sun pours through the kitchen windows as I arrange 3 white rental agreements beside 3 plates, my hands steady, my heart wild. From upstairs comes the familiar symphony of Karen's morning routine, the shower running, Brooklyn's music thumping, Logan shuffling between rooms. Dad's latest business trip stretches into its 2nd week. The thought pricks my skin like a splinter. I crack eggs into a bowl, whisking them with the same wooden spoon Mom used every Sunday morning. The familiar motion centers me. Through the window, her rose bushes nod in the breeze, petals scattering across dewy grass. Footsteps on the stairs. Showtime. Karen sweeps in first, wrapped in her silk robe, Brooklyn and Logan trailing behind like drowsy ducklings. The scent of Karen's perfume overwhelms Mom's roses. Something smells wonderful. Karen's smile sparkles with artificial sweetness as she slides into her chair. Her hand freezes halfway to her coffee cup when she spots the document beside her plate. What's this? Her voice sharpens. I pour orange juice, fighting to keep my voice level. Rental agreements. $700 monthly, starting next month. The same amount she demanded from me yesterday. Adults should contribute equally, right? Karen chokes on her first sip of coffee. Logan's fork clatters against his plate. You can't be serious. Logan pushes back from the table, chair legs screeching against hardwood. This is ridiculous. Brooklyn's eyes well with tears. We're family. You can't charge us rent. Family contributes. The words taste like victory on my tongue. I've been doing it for years. I spread butter on my toast, letting the silence stretch. Then I begin counting off on my fingers. Last Thanksgiving, I cooked the entire meal while you all went Black Friday shopping. Last summer, I painted the house exterior alone in 90-degree heat. My high school graduation, you left early for Logan's friend's party. My voice remains steady as I pull a folder from the counter. I've kept every receipt, documented every chore, calculated market value for my labor. The stack of papers lands with a satisfying thump. 3 years of contributions. Karen's face shifts from shock to calculation to her preferred weapon. Tears. After everything we've done for you. Her voice wavers. Taking you in like our own. Taking me in? A laugh bubbles up, sharp as broken glass. This is my house. You moved into my space, removed my mother's photos, tried to throw away her quilt. Dad won't stand for this. Logan yanks his phone from his pocket. Put him on speaker. I butter another piece of toast. He should hear this too. The phone rings 3 times before Dad answers, voice thick with sleep. Logan, what's wrong? Your daughter has lost her mind. Karen snatches the phone. She's trying to charge us rent, in our own home. My home, I correct quietly. The home my grandparents left me, the one Mom grew up in. Silence crackles through the speaker. Everyone contributes equally, I continue, or finds other arrangements. Grace. Dad's voice strains. You can't just... I can. I am. The wooden spoon feels solid in my grip. I've managed this household for years while watching you all treat it like a hotel. That ends now. Karen rises, chair toppling backward. We're not paying a penny to live with an ungrateful child. Then I'll expect your keys by the end of the week. Doors slam upstairs. Drawers crash open and shut. Brooklyn wails into her phone, probably calling one of her friends. Dad will never forgive you for this. Logan jabs a finger at me. You'll regret this. The whole town will know what kind of person you really are. What kind is that? I meet his gaze. Someone who stands up for herself? 10 minutes later, Karen reappears with a hastily packed suitcase, mascara smeared beneath her eyes. You'll be sorry when you're all alone in this big, empty house. The front door slams so hard the windows rattle, car engines rev in the driveway. Only then do I allow myself to exhale. I walk through rooms that suddenly feel vast, touching walls that have sheltered 3 generations of Mitchell women. In the living room, I find Mom's wedding photo face down in Karen's wake. The glass has a new crack spiderwebbing across the surface. My fingers trace the fracture, an oddly appropriate metaphor for what just happened to our family. But when I hold the frame to the light, Mom's smile still shines through the broken glass. I unlock every window, pushing them wide. Fresh air rushes in, carrying the scent of Mom's roses. For the first time in years, I fill my lungs completely. The house creaks and settles around me, familiar as a lullaby. I always thought being alone would feel like drowning. Instead, it feels like breaking the surface and finally being able to breathe. 3 days later, after unsuccessful calls, the phone won't stop ringing. Each vibration rattles against the kitchen counter like an accusation. Dad's name flashes on the screen for the 12th time tonight, and my finger hovers over the answer button. A text appears beneath his calls. Grace Elizabeth Mitchell. Pick up this phone right now. The use of my full name pulls me back to childhood scoldings, scraped knees, and broken rules. But I'm not that little girl anymore. I press the green circle and set the phone on speaker. What have you done? His voice splinters through the kitchen. Hello to you too, Dad. I fold dish towels into neat squares, letting the familiar motion steady my hands. Karen called me in hysterics. Logan and Brooklyn are devastated. How could you throw your own family out? The word family sticks between us like a thorn. I established boundaries in my home. Your home? He spits the words. That house has sheltered all of us. You can't just. Can't just what? Protect what's legally mine? What Mom and her parents left to me? Silence crackles across the line. Then, softer, dangerous. I'll be there first thing tomorrow morning. We're fixing this. The line goes dead before I can respond. I sleep in my mother's old bedroom that night, wrapped in the quilt I rescued from Karen's garbage bags. The roses Mom planted outside tap against the window, their shadows dancing across the ceiling like memories. Morning arrives with tire crunch on gravel. I watch from the upstairs window as Dad's SUV parks crooked across the driveway. Karen springs out first, Brooklyn and Logan trailing behind like storm clouds. The doorbell rings. I count to 10 before descending the stairs, each step measured and slow. Through the beveled glass, their shapes blur into a wall of judgment. Dad starts talking the moment I open the door. "Grace, this has gone far enough. You need to apologize and make things right." "I'm not apologizing for enforcing my property rights." Karen pushes forward, designer purse swinging like a weapon. "After everything we've done for you." "You're not coming inside." The words slip out quiet, firm. "Excuse me?" Karen's perfectly plucked eyebrows arch toward her hairline. "You're not welcome in my home without an invitation." Dad's face flushes the same shade as Mom's roses. "Karen's threatening to leave me unless you fix this. Is that what you want, to break up our family?" The manipulation hangs obvious as Christmas tinsel. 5 years ago, it might have worked. But I've spent too many nights studying the water stains on my bedroom ceiling, listening to their whispered plans to push me out. "I heard you both that night in the kitchen." My voice stays steady while Dad's face drains of color, planning to send me across the country for college, for my independence. "Grace. I found the life insurance papers too. When did you change the beneficiary to Karen?" His silence confirms everything. Behind him, Karen's fingers drum against her purse strap. "Your father has been nothing but good to you," Karen snaps. "You ungrateful little." "We'll contest the property deed," Logan interrupts, phone already in hand. "I've been researching." "You can't contest what's ironclad." I lean against the doorframe. "But feel free to waste your money on lawyers." Brooklyn bursts into tears, mascara tracking familiar paths down her cheeks. "Where are we supposed to go?" "I'm not responsible for housing adults who refuse to respect me." "Grace, be reasonable," Dad pleads. The same tone he used when asking me to give up my craft room for Logan's gaming setup. When suggesting I take the smaller bedroom so Brooklyn could have a walk-in closet. When telling me to understand why we couldn't hang Mom's portrait in the living room anymore. I step onto the porch, pulling the door closed behind me. The key feels cool against my palm. "You have 10 minutes to collect any remaining essentials." Karen doesn't enter without supervision. My voice carries across the morning air. "After that, please don't return without an invitation." "You can't," Karen starts. "The police are on speed dial if needed." Something in my tone finally reaches them. Dad's shoulders slump like blinds dropping at dusk. He goes in alone. Through the window, I watch him gather a few items from his old office. His wedding photo with Mom still sits in the drawer where Karen banished it. He leaves it there. No goodbyes punctuate their departure. Just the slam of car doors, the growl of engines, the crunch of tires on gravel. I stand at the window, pressing my palm against cool glass until their taillights disappear around the corner. Tears finally come, hot and fast. But they feel different from the ones I've shed these past 4 years. Less like grief, more like rain washing windows clean. I find Mom's photo in the drawer where Dad left it. The glass needs dusting, but her smile still glows. My fingers trace the frame's familiar edges as I carry it to the mantel. The empty hooks have waited years for this homecoming. Later, curled in her old reading chair, I open my journal. The words flow like Mom's roses climbing their trellis. Today, I became my mother's daughter again. The house creaks and settles around me, no longer a battlefield but a sanctuary. Outside, Mom's roses nod in the evening breeze, their petals catching the last light like promises kept. Morning sunlight streams through the master bedroom windows, painting golden rectangles across the hardwood floor. My mother's room, my room now. The thought still catches in my throat as I trace my fingers along her old dresser, remembering how she used to sit here brushing her hair while I played at her feet. Brooklyn's abandoned magazines litter the floor, Karen's designer shoes scattered like fallen soldiers, a half-empty bottle of expensive perfume tips precariously near the edge of the vanity. They fled 3 days ago, leaving chaos in their wake. My reflection watches me from Mom's old mirror as I begin gathering Karen's things into boxes. The glass shows someone stronger than I remember being at my birthday dinner. Someone who finally looks like she belongs here. A glint of silver catches my eye behind Karen's jewelry box. My breath catches. Mom's antique hairbrush, the one Karen claimed she'd never seen when I asked about it months ago. The silver handle still bears the delicate engravings of roses that fascinated me as a child. Underneath it lies a stack of photographs Karen must have stripped from their frames before hiding them away. Mom and Dad at their wedding, my 5th birthday party, the last Christmas before she got sick. I found you, I whisper, pressing the photos to my chest. The house creaks softly in response, as if sharing my relief. Mrs. Patterson from next door appears at my front gate that afternoon, clutching a casserole dish. Her silver hair catches the sunlight as she peers around my overgrown front yard. I noticed the others left, she says carefully, handing me the dish. Your mother and I used to trade recipes across this fence. She'd want you to have some proper food while you sort things out. Behind her, I spot Mr. Wilson slowing his daily walk to study my empty driveway. 2 houses down, the Anderson sisters pause their gardening to whisper behind raised hands. The small-town rumor mill grinding into motion. Thank you, I tell Mrs. Patterson, straightening my spine. Mom always said you made the best tuna noodle casserole in Cedar Springs. Her eyes soften. She was a good woman, your mother. Would have been proud to see you standing tall in her house. The word proud warms me as I carry the casserole inside. Mom's old recipe box sits on the kitchen counter where I placed it this morning after finding it buried in the back of Karen's junk drawer. The cards inside bear her flowing handwriting, each one a piece of her heart coming home. Reality crashes in during my meeting with Mr. Grayson, the financial advisor who helped my grandparents set up the trust. His office smells of leather and coffee as he spreads papers across his desk. Property taxes are due quarterly, he explains, pointing to columns of numbers. Insurance, utilities, basic maintenance adds up quickly. Your part-time salary at the hardware store won't cover it, I finish quietly. Not with college tuition coming up. He peers at me over his reading glasses. Your grandparents left you this house as a gift, Grace, not a burden. That evening, I wander through the rooms with new eyes. High ceilings that once felt protective now loom with dollar signs attached. The formal dining room where Karen held her bridge club meetings stands empty, sunshine warming its hardwood floors through tall windows. Sarah from Cedar Springs Property Management walks the house with me the next morning, her practical shoes clicking against tile as she takes notes on her tablet. The rental market is strong right now, she says, running a hand along the kitchen's granite countertops. A house like this, especially with the garden, you could lease the main house for enough to cover your expenses and then some. I follow her to the detached garage, its upper level originally built as an in-law suite. This could be converted into a perfect apartment for you, she continues. Private entrance, separate utilities, close enough to keep an eye on things but still have your own space. The solution unfolds like one of Mom's origami flowers. I could preserve the house, fund my education, and maintain my independence all at once. My grandparents' gift transforming into exactly what I need, just as they'd intended. Emily arrives that weekend with painting supplies and her mom's old radio. We crank up hits from the 80s while clearing Karen's abandoned decor from the garage apartment. Remember when we used to play house up here in middle school? Emily asks, rolling mint green paint onto the walls. You always wanted to be the mom. I smile, carefully wrapping Mom's china in newspaper before storing it in the attic. Now I get to be the landlord instead. Speaking of which, Emily blows a strand of hair from her face. Your dad's car just pulled up. My stomach tightens as I peer through the window. Robert stands in the driveway, clutching a manila envelope, his shoulders stooped beneath his suit jacket. When I meet him at the front door, he thrusts the envelope toward me without meeting my eyes. Karen's lawyer drew up some paperwork, he mumbles, about compensation for improvements to the property. I leave the envelope unopened on the porch swing. A week later, Karen's personal note arrives, threatening legal action for unjust enrichment and demanding payment for the granite countertops she installed 2 years ago. My family attorney's response consists of 2 sentences, dismissing their claims with calm finality. The texts start rolling in after that, Logan warning that I'll regret my selfishness, Brooklyn pleading for family unity, Karen cycling between threats and guilt trips. Robert's messages hurt the most accusations of betrayal wrapped in fatherly disappointment. I change my phone number on a Tuesday afternoon. The woman at the wireless store smiles sympathetically as she transfers my contacts. Fresh start? Something like that. I block Robert on social media before I can second guess myself. That evening, I sit in Mom's garden as the sun sets, surrounded by the roses she planted 2 decades ago. Their perfume mingles with the herbs I added this spring, life building upon life, growth covering old wounds. A letter to Robert sits half-finished in my journal, words I know I'll never send. My therapist's voice echoes in my mind from our session yesterday. Boundaries aren't punishment, Grace, they're protection. A hummingbird darts among Mom's zinnias, iridescent wings catching the last rays of sunlight. I watch it hover, remembering how she taught me to be still enough for them to trust me. Some lessons take years to fully understand. The house stands quiet behind me, no longer haunted by false smiles and hidden hurts. Tomorrow, I'll meet the property management company to review rental applications. Next week, contractors arrive to renovate the garage apartment. But tonight belongs to the garden, to memory, to the gentle art of letting go. I touch the silver locket at my throat, the one containing photos of Mom and my grandparents. Their love built these walls, planted these flowers, created this sanctuary. Now it's my turn to help it grow into something new. 3 months later, the plastic storage bin scrapes against the dorm room floor as I slide it under my twin bed. My roommate Sarah glances up from her phone, curiosity lighting her round face. That's the last one, I announce, brushing dust from my jeans. The room measures exactly 12 feet by 14 feet. I check twice before arranging our furniture. After the sprawling Victorian I grew up in, this space should feel cramped. Instead, it wraps around me like a warm blanket. Sarah's string lights cast a gentle glow across our shared domain. You're the first person I've met who actually seems happy about dorm life, she says, tucking her feet under her tie-dye comforter. Most people won't shut up about missing their family. I touch the silver frame on my desk, my mother's smile unchanged since that last summer vacation. Some families are complicated. The words hang between us. Sarah nods, not pushing further. I've learned that's rare. Most people can't resist digging into family drama. But Sarah just returns to her phone, leaving space for my silence. Through our third-floor window, the sun gilds the red brick of the University of Washington campus. Students stream past, their backpacks bouncing, their laughter floating up. None of them know my story. Here, I'm just Grassnot, the girl whose stepmother tried to evict her, not the teenager who managed a household while her peers planned prom outfits. My phone buzzes with a text from Mrs. Henderson, my property manager. The new tenants move in today. I flip through the photos she sent. 3 kids racing through the garden my mother planted, their parents unloading a moving truck in the driveway. The roses are blooming early this year, Mrs. Henderson writes. Anna, the mom, says the house feels like it was waiting for them. Something warm unfurls in my chest. I zoom in on the children's faces, flushed with excitement as they explore. The youngest girl reaches for a pink rose, her mother gently redirecting her hand. The scene pulls at memories buried deep. My own mother teaching me to deadhead spent blooms, her hands guiding mine among the thorns. The rental income more than covers my tuition. The practical side of my brain celebrates this win, but it's the laughter echoing through my childhood home that brings tears to my eyes. Life flows through those rooms again, not the stifling silence of my last years there. A knock at our door startles me. Sarah pulls it open to reveal an RA holding a letter. Grace Mitchell? The envelope bears no return address, just my name in familiar handwriting, Brooklyn. My heart stumbles as I break the seal. Grace. I should have told you about Logan's gambling. Karen was desperate to cover his debts, that's why she pushed so hard about the rent. It doesn't excuse what they did to you, but you deserve to know the truth. Dad and Karen are divorcing. He finally saw through her act, but it took losing you to open his eyes. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness. When you're ready, if you're ever ready, I'd like to meet for coffee, just to talk. Brooklyn. The letter trembles in my hands. Sarah pretends to scroll through Instagram, but I catch her concerned glance. My stepsister, I explain, folding the paper carefully. Apparently, my father's finally leaving his wife. Is that good news? I tuck the letter into my mother's old recipe box, between the property deed and my grandmother's silver locket. It's just news. The autumn breeze carries the scent of fallen leaves through our window. In my therapy sessions, Dr. Chen talks about seasons of change, how growth often feels like loss at first. My quiet strength wasn't born in that birthday confrontation. It built slowly, like rings in a tree trunk, nourished by my mother's love, my grandparents' foresight, even the hard lessons of surviving Karen's cruelty. My laptop chimes with an email from the social work department confirming my declared major. The coursework overview includes a section on helping young adults navigate family trauma. Something clicks into place, a vision of using my story, my home's rental income, to create a foundation for others caught between abusive families and independence. The garden my mother planted still blooms, tended now by new hands. The rooms that witness my pain shelter another family's joy. And here in this tiny dorm room, surrounded by textbooks and possibility, I'm finally blooming too. Sarah interrupts my thoughts. Hey, your floor meeting starts in 10. Wanna grab coffee after? Sure. I stand, catching my reflection in the window. My smile, I realize, mirrors my mother's in that silver-framed photo, quiet, knowing, strong. The property manager's next text includes a photo of the youngest tenant placing a home sweet home sign in the front window. Below it, she's written in crayon, "Thank you for sharing your house." I trace the words on my screen, remembering the scared girl who thought she was just fighting for a building. That girl never imagined she was actually fighting for her future, or that losing a toxic family could lead to finding herself. Coming? Sarah asks, dangling her key ring. I slip my phone into my pocket, leaving the weight of the past behind. Yeah, I'm ready.